You're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm Elisa. It's gotten a lot colder in the last day. I'm going to feature the Urban Tarot. This is the featured deck for the month of October, so I do a giveaway once a month. And this is the deck for October. If you're interested in entering the giveaway, it's super easy, and I think almost everyone who's entered has won so far, because I'm pretty off the radar. But the giveaway is headquartered. It's headquartered in the monthly reading. So this month was the Harvest Moon reading, because the Harvest Moon was on the first of the month, and it's like a new reality is bubbling up. That's kind of like the overall message for the month of October. You can check out that reading to figure out how to enter the giveaway. It's very easy, and like I said, the chances are pretty high of winning. But there's been a lot of oh my gosh, there's been a lot of kerfuffle happening in the readings, and oh my gosh, in the last several days. And it's there's some major reshuffling and drama happening for sure. So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. Okay. All right. So at the bottom, I'm taking extra cards today because that's what I'm getting. But so at the bottom we have this, it's number 14, but in this deck it's art. So it's like the Temperance in the traditional deck, but I like how it's like this like street art, you know, because this deck like uses New York City as a muse. Yeah, that's really beautiful. So it's just like kind of just showing how like our everyday world is also like art in motion, you know. I'm kind of feeling that. But like the reading I just did yesterday was like really emotional. Like it was called Deep Blue Ocean, and it was just like all emotion just like being unleashed, you know. So there's for sure like this huge climax happening. But the cards that I got, so I got the Eon, which this has come out like in 3 other readings in the last week, like all around the new moon, all the new moon readings, and I think the ones like right before that, they all had this card. And this is a card of judgment. So this is like a karmic reckoning that's happening. Like there's definitely this major reshuffling that's been happening. And so like I said, like this is the 3rd or 4th time that card has come out. So obviously there's like this karmic reckoning that's happening right now. But this one has the Tower. So, you know, obviously it's like there's like a major climax happening right now. And what's interesting about this deck in particular, because it uses New York City as a muse, again, like I was saying, but what I think is really interesting about this deck is that the tower that's featured in this artwork is Trump Tower, which I think is particularly appropriate given like our current political climate at the moment. Like, I don't know. I think that's pretty wild. You know, there's this karmic reckoning, like Trump Tower is like going down, and you know, this is all art in motion. But then we also have the Hanged Man. So this is a card of like, you know, sort of hanging back, taking a step back, like removing yourself from the situation, and just like kind of like watching it all go down from like across the street, you know. But this also kind of implies that there's like a sacrifice that's going to be made in order to have to like move forward, you know, like, and so you're kind of taking a step back and kind of just being like, okay, how am I going to re-engage this situation? Because obviously, you know, we don't want to keep living in the same pattern that's been going. Like, there's just reckoning that's happening. And so it's just sort of like, okay, like, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to look out for my own interests. I'm going to stay balanced and at peace, you know, but also just like knowing like I'm going to have to re-engage the situation in a different way because this is not working how it is. It's not working for me. Like, I need to make the situation work for me. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting from this configuration. But I'm going to go to the Mystical Shaman Oracle, which before the Urban Tarot, which is starting to turn into like my new favorite deck, though. I mean, I really love this Mystical Shaman Oracle. So I'm going to pick some cards from there to see where we're going with this reading. But for sure, like, the readings this month have been like, I mean, it's just like some really profound changes and like drama and all of that. If you're new to the channel while I'm shuffling, I just want to let you know the readings are typically timeless. Like, I'm not really trying to be a tarot reader. I'm a vegan cheesemaker. I'm on hiatus. I'm doing this for fun. And, you know, I care about wellness. Like, I'm passionate about wellness and different tools, whether they be, like, for physical or mental wellness. Like, that's kind of what I'm into, you know. So, anyways, I'll link related readings up here. Within each reading, I also arrange the readings on playlists. So, you can check out different playlists where things might have related storylines, and that'll be down below. So, just so you know. Okay, the cards that came out, it's really interesting. So on the bottom of the deck we have the upper world. So this indicates like the heavenly realms, or like spirit, or like the divine, or, you know, like God consciousness. So I mean, this kind of indicates that you're getting support from up there, you know. But then interestingly we also have earth. So we have the earth. Whoa. We have the earth and we have the heavens. So I think that's really interesting. Because there actually is a card called Middle World in the deck, and it's all about like when the earth and the heavens are in alignment with the truth. And so it's interesting that we got both of these. But this, it's a card that's like a reminder. Like, the message with the card is to like have reverence and gratitude for all the gifts that are coming to you in the material world, because if you can kind of like walk through this moment with that sort of attitude of gratitude, like, things are gonna work out, you know. So it's just like reminding you that, like, you know, what you need is here. So remember that, even if it might not seem like it in every moment that's happening, because there's the next card we got is fire, which, you know, this speaks to a profound transformation, you know. I mean, elemental change. So, you know, wood, when you throw it into the fire, it turns into ash, like it's transformed, you know, like liquid is transformed into air, you know. So I mean, this speaks to like a profound moment of transformation. It also talks about, you know, the firebird. It's like rises from the ashes, you know, and is transformed, you know, out of the fire, you know. So it's like there's a lot of drama and a lot of chaos that's happening that's probably super unsettling, you know, but this is just like acknowledging that, but like remembering to have gratitude for what is working for you, because that's going to be the best way to move through this moment of transformation, because it looks like some pretty heavy drama here. I mean, that's what I'm getting. But like, we also have the ancient ones. So this indicates that that your ancestors are watching down on you. They're supporting you. You know, you have the support of the heavenly realms. And you have what you need to like get through this moment. But I like, this card has been coming up a lot too, and it's started out with this reading that was called Minneapolis is Burning. And it's like, it means a lot to me because like I was saying, I'm like on a hiatus from being a vegan cheesemaker, but my shop that I had forever was located in South Minneapolis, like a few blocks from the George Floyd incident. So like, I feel like I'm part of that whole transformation that's been happening, you know. But clearly there's this karmic reckoning, and the way that things were is not gonna be, you know, like things are changing for sure, you know. But you know, you have the support of the heavens, so stay in a place of gratitude, because that's gonna be the best way to move through. I'm gonna go to Muse Tarot to get a little bit different perspective on what we have going down here. So okay, so I have some extra cards. I'm just going to take them all because there's just like a lot going on in this reading here. So at the bottom we have the Nine of Voices. So this is a card in the traditional deck of like fear and anxiety. This really came through in yesterday's reading too. So it's just like, I think, you know, when this happens, this is for sure an unsettling moment to walk through. So, I mean, it makes sense that there's fear and anxiety going on. But we also have, interestingly, on top of this Earth card, where you have what you need and try to walk through it with an attitude of gratitude, we have the Four of Voices, which is a card of, I like the artwork on this card because it's like this person is kind of taking a time out, which is interesting because we had this timeout card also, and they kind of even match. This person is kind of taking a time out, and they're kind of trying to rejuvenate themselves, you know, but like at the same time there's these beams of light that are coming. Like this person is like, has a vision, you know, and they're manifesting, they're putting that energy out there. So I think, you know, this is good advice, you know. Stay in that attitude of gratitude and hold your vision, you know, because, but at the same time, like, it's probably good to stay out of the fray while this is going on. So just try to chill out and, like, focus on yourself and, like, your vision for the future. Because, like, you know, this is some pretty dramatic stuff right here. So on top of this fire, we have the transformation. We have this King of Pentacles, Muse of Pentacles. And it's interesting because, like, there's been this thread on the channel forever about this King of Pentacles character who was this downtrodden king who was, like, nose to the grindstone, going through all this stuff, but was having to learn this spiritual lesson in order to ascend to this, like, emperor status where he was going to, like, step into all this abundance. And it's interesting because, like, that abundance theme has been coming up a lot. Like, I feel like it was in yesterday's and, you know, several of the readings in the recent past where it's just like the Ten of Pentacles is on the horizon, you know, like that's there. So it's like, but the artwork on this card is really interesting because it's like, well, for one thing, it's a woman, you know, because there's all women in this deck, which is one of the things I love about it. But she's like walking across this kind of rickety bridge, you know, towards this Hollywood ending, you know. So there's like this abundance like on the horizon. She can see it. She's walking towards it, but she's having to cross this bridge. And it's interesting because yesterday there was like a card where they were crossing this bridge over troubled water. Like that's actually a reading, crossing a bridge over troubled water. But that came up in yesterday's reading too. So it's like we have to walk through the fire, you know. And it's a tough moment, but that's part of this process, you know. And then we got the Three of Emotions. So this is can be a card of reunion, or like finding your tribe, or just like reuniting, you know, is what it typically means. And we have the Sun. So it's like your ancestors are watching over you, and like there's this beautiful Hollywood ending on the other side of this bridge. So keep the faith and keep walking, because we're walking towards this beautiful ending, this beautiful outcome, you know. The Sun is the best card in the deck. It's just like happiness, abundance, fertility, joy. And we have this reunion. So it's like you're walking across this bridge, but it's like your people are on the other side, and like everything that you need. So keep the faith. This is a difficult moment, but you know, just try to like stay in the attitude of gratitude and just keep moving forward. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the Golden Art Nouveau to just see if I can get a little bit more clarity about what's going on. Okay, so things have not gotten any less dramatic with this deck. So I got the Five of Cups, the World, and the Death card. So this is a card of loss, and it's a card of kind of like looking in the wrong direction too. Like this person is focused on these three spilled cups, but there's actually a Two of Cups right behind them. They're just not looking at it. They're looking in the wrong direction, you know. They're focused on the wrong thing, you know. But this World card indicates that this is the end of that cycle, you know. That's ending. And then that's doubly followed up by the Death card. So like this energy is like changing. Like there is a double message about that, right? And then on the next row we have the Chariot, the Ten of Wands, and we got the Tower again. This is 2 towers in one reading. Like that's pretty freaking dramatic, you know, like that's dramatic. So, you know, this is like taking the reins, like taking control of the situation, putting the burdens down, and like, you know, like however things were, like it's ending. It's just like that fell right under the Death card, you know. It's just like this oppression, like it's over. Like they're putting these burdens down, taking control of the situation. And we're stepping into this new future, you know, which is really beautiful. But like, you know, yesterday I was talking about, you know, it was a similar message, but there was just like all this like emotion that was being unleashed. And this, it almost seems like downstream of that, where it's just sort of like, okay, yesterday all the emotion unleashed, and now today it's just like all the blocks are falling, you know, like physical stuff is like falling down, you know. London Bridge is falling down, you know, like that might be the name of the reading. Oh my gosh, it's like crazy. This is just like, I mean, I think the message of keeping the attitude of gratitude, because like, you know, this is the moment of like walking through the fire, and maybe that might be it, you know. It's like walking through the fire, London Bridge is falling down, like this. It's just like, you got to keep it together. Like, try to stay in this balanced place. This is art in motion. Don't be attached to anything, because everything's changing. Just kind of try to chill out and like, oh my god. Wow. Okay, so then we got Awakening, which is the Karmic Reckoning card. It's the Judgment card. So we've gotten that twice. So we've gotten the Tower twice, and we've gotten Judgment twice. This is like seriously, really like, I can't even tell you how much drama this is. Okay, so we've got 9 of Voices, the 5 of Emotions, and we got the 5 of Voices. Okay, so this 5 of Emotions, that's this card again. So this is a card of loss and of like focusing on the wrong thing. We've got the 9 of Voices, which fell out again, even though I put it back in the deck. So that's like the fear and anxiety that happens, you know, when you're like moving through all this loss. And then we have the 5 of Voices, which this is a card of having like winners and losers. Like there is a big, obviously, change that's happening. And like, not everyone's going to benefit from it. There's going to be some people that are like not in alignment with this change, and it's going to be painful, you know? Yeah, so I keep getting interrupted too, so that probably means something, but all I can say about this moment is it's the best thing, I think, is just to know that it's going to be completely out of control, it's going to be completely dramatic, and it's going to completely change everything. It's going to be completely transformative. So the best thing to do is to just try to have an attitude of gratitude. Don't be attached to any outcomes, and just kind of try to be in a place of peace with yourself, because you can't stop this tower. Like, there's nothing that you can do. Like, it's just gonna burn down. So you just have to like get out of the way and like try to take care of you, and just know that it's gonna work out. But just, it's like the best thing you can do. Because this is like maybe the most dramatic reading I've ever done. It's just like, I'm not being very dramatic, but like, this is freaking dramatic. This is like life altering. I mean, okay. All right. So we got We the Hathors, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. So it's just like, yeah, just remember with everything that's happening, like, this is the birth of a whole new era, you know? And it's just like, when a woman gives birth, you know, there's all these pains that keep getting closer and closer together. Like, I feel like the readings have been getting more and more and more dramatic, you know? But this is like, this one seems like the total climax of all the readings, like, leading up to this. And like, that's like what happens, like, when you give birth. It's just like, you can't control it. It just is what it is. The best thing you can do is just like be in the moment, like be present, and like let it happen, because it's gonna be what it is. But just have an attitude of gratitude. You have the support of Spirit and God and your ancestors, and it's gonna be okay. Even if you're gonna feel completely overwhelmed and out of your element, it's gonna be okay, and this is just a moment in time. So remember that, and good luck, and we'll check back soon.